Good evening. Hello, hello, hello. You're ready to feed your microbes. All right, Dave. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Hello. Hi, Dave. Thanks for being here. Alicia, good evening. Um, hey, the three of us hanging out. I think there's a couple more out there, but we'll see how they're doing. Sorry about my hair sticking up there. Um, anyway, how is everybody today? How are all of you? Sunflower Marsha, good evening to you. Um, did you have a good week? Did you have a good weekend? Um, yeah, it's been hot here. Yesterday was 92, and today I think we hit about 86 or something. It cooled down a little bit. Then we had like a little cell come through. Oh, just a little bit of rain. I mean, we have been getting a little bit of rain here and there, but it's only enough just to like wet the surface. Nothing that's a soaker at all that's helping anything. But um, anyway, so one came through this afternoon a couple hours ago, and it was like 86 before that. And then within minutes, when it came through, it was down to 70. Now it's back up to like 82 or something. So it's like roller coaster. It's crazy. So, Connie, good evening to you. Hugs to you. Lynn, good evening. Been drizzly. Oh, are you kidding me? Is that chilly there? Oh my goodness. If I could have a day or two like that, that would be so nice. But I know things don't want to grow, but that's actually kind of, I mean, it's a little bit below normal, but we're still in the time of the year where we're not supposed to be getting super hot. And we've just had a couple of weeks of 90-degree weather, 85, 90 degrees. And so, which is like too warm for this early to start in. Cause I'm like, okay, we haven't hit July yet. It's like, what's that going to be? So, Sand Hollow, well, good evening to you. Haven't heard from you for a long time. Kiri, good evening to you. Oh, you had 90. Oh, no, that's too hot, Dave. That is just too hot. You have a burn ban? Yeah, we've been in a red fire zone for a few weeks now. It's just been really bad. So, I mean, the lawns are brown by June 1st. That is not good. The grass is like just dead out there. Not good at all. It's pouring rain. Oh, good. Raining for days. Oh, what a blessing. Oh my goodness. Fall temps. Yeah, that's true. Debbie, good evening to you. Yeah, 69 in Washington. Nice. I mean, even if it were just mid 70s, I could, that would be perfect and that'd be fine. But I've been thinking that I spent too many days in the last few years out in the really hot weather working. Because when I work 5 to 8 hours outside and it's 100 degrees, even for a 20-year-old, it's tough. But at my age, it's like I think I may have. I don't think I ever got heat stroke or heat exhaustion, but maybe come close. And so um, I know my chiropractor went through this. He's 20 years younger than I am, and he said that he overdid it in the heat one year, and ever since then he can't tolerate any heat. And I'm like, I wonder if that's what's happened to me, because it's really, really hard for me to get out in the heat and to really be enthused about working out there. So I don't know. It's like, just give me 50 degrees and I'll be happy. uh, oh, Alicia, that's just way too close. Hopefully you won't have to run at all. Hey, Michigan Daffodil, eating dinner of rice with home canned stuffed cabbage casserole. Oh, that sounds really good. Sounds really, really good. Um, everybody's saying happy. Everybody's saying happy hellos. That's good. Yeah, sunflowers are so happy. They're a happy flower, aren't they? Every time you see a picture of a sunflower or an emoji, it's like, it's just like happiness. It's so great. Oh, Lynn, you too? Okay. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. And uh, anyway, an update on what I was going through last week with the client websites that I was doing. So by Tuesday evening, we got the four of them back up. So we found out it were. I was able to get a manage to get backup files from the old server and the old host and different things, and be able to get those all uploaded and stuff. So we did recover those, but I didn't know that it was all connected to the company's store, to their online store. And so um Wednesday, I thought Tuesday night, I thought it was like, "Oh, this is all done. Okay, we're good. I'm not even going to look at anything. Not going on the computer for like 3 days." I wake up in the next morning, there's an email to me going, "The shopping cart's down. The store's down." It's like, what's going on? I'm like, no, no. So by Friday, after early afternoon, we got that all up and done. But it was, it all just had to do with servers and DNS directions and IP addresses. And just the whole, everything was messed up. So, um, not necessarily my mess up either, but it was just all confusing. So, anyway, it's all up and done. And I'm like, so done with it because that was supposed to be my planting time. So, I did pick up 3 pepper plants today. So, they're purple bell peppers. So, I've got them. They're sitting out on my front step right now, enjoying the heat and humidity. And so I'm like, I've got to get out there and plant. So hopefully, over the next few days, we're supposed to be sticking right around the 80s or some, low 80s, upper 70s. So I'm hoping that I can get out in the garden and get things done. So I have no idea what it looks like back there. It's going to be crazy. So Kiri, it's been raining all around you, very humid, but oh, yeah. I mean, if all that's going on, you're not getting anything from it, that is hard. Yay, Michigan daffodil! Oh wow, yes. We're all dealing with the shortage of rain, which is crazy. Um, if you look at a map right now, the United States, the radar, it's like just it's like massive freckles all over the country, and it's like or chicken pox or something, but it's like little spots of just scattered showers just everywhere, and it's like nothing that's a really good system that's a good soaker going through, and it's just like, you know we need that. So Great Pyrenees love sunflowers, at least the leaves. Oh, I didn't know you could eat those, or that they were okay for animals. That's great. So, um, making homemade pizza dough. So, oh, hi, Debbie. Typing with dough. No, that isn't good. That's hard to get out of your computer keypad, most definitely. So, strawberry plant is loving this rain. Good, 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 good. Hey, Howie. Hello. Got another expert in here on microbes. I mean, it's like you are the encyclopedia on microbes. And so glad that you're here because, oh, hey, Donna, you're in Colorado? How fun. Fun. I hope it's warm or cooler there than here. Christy Betts, hello. Your son, Logan, and girlfriend, Rachel, got engaged. Oh, so good. Congratulations. You're going to have another son. That is so great. Oh, that's fun. Those kind of things are great. So, oh, yeah, fun times, Kiri, huh? Um, so yeah, even though about microbes, and I'm not going to quite get into them yet, but it's kind of like one of those things that that there's like the stars are there, what stars are and everything, but getting into the science of them, of what they're made of, how important they are, how they affect everything else. It's kind of like that with microbes. It's like we know what microbes are, and it's like what they're supposed to kind of do. They're supposed to help the soil, whatever, but it's like exactly what are they, what do they do, and everything. So I, in my research, I was learning stuff, but I far from being an expert. That's why I want to open this up to good conversation, good input from all of you guys. So Howie, I don't know if how long you'd be able to hang around, but your input would be excellent. I would appreciate it very much. Both boys married. Yay. Oh, another daughter. Oh, I'm sorry. Your son. Well, if I would have read that correctly, that would have helped, right? Um, More microbes in a tablespoon of soil than all the people on the planet combined. Yep, that's what I've been reading. It's just like, it's like, say what? What's in there? And they're the ones that eat up everything and make more soil. And a surprise visit from your son who got leave from armed graduates. Nice, yay! I had to go to a grad party yesterday for my nephew's oldest son. So their first one graduating high school, and he's going into the Marines. So he will be going to boot camp in August. And I believe it's in South Carolina. I think that's the Marines boot camp. So anyway, I found out that he has wanted to be a soldier since he was 5 years old. And he has just never veered from that course. He wants to be infantry Marines, which means like front lines. It's like, well, I was like, oh, it's like, okay, Lord, just keep him safe, right? And Paris Island, okay, I have no idea where that is. So, oh, Alicia, you're so sweet. I don't even have my gardening yet, so I'm not that proficient. Going to graduation for nephew next Monday. Nice. Um, so yeah, he'll leave for boot camp in August. He's done in November sometime. He's got like a 2-week break, hopefully right over Thanksgiving, and then he gets off wherever he's assigned. And so we'll see where that goes. But so it was really kind of neat. But we're sitting out there in at the party, which is in like the open garage area and the tent and stuff. And it's low 90s, and it's like so hot. So today, I don't know. It's that heat just really wears me out. I don't know. Does that do it to anybody else? That kind of heat, I just like get exhausted the next day. But you think South Carolina? That's what I was thinking too. So Paris Island, okay, South Carolina. So anyway, he will be. My dad was in the Army, so then will be the first military person in his generation, but not even my generation. Nobody was in the military, so I skipped one. Now he's going in, so it'd be kind of cool. I mean, he's just very excited about it. The pictures from his graduation, when they're in their caps and gowns, and in procession and everything. They actually, because he was already signed up for the Marines, he actually had a red Marine sash that he wore going through the procession. So it was like, oh, was pretty cool, that they were already honoring him and designating him in that way. So it was pretty neat. Hey, Patty, good evening to you. You finally planted enough melon and squash seeds to get lots of baby plants. It's a mystery garden. Heat above 80 kills you at the same below it. Oh, so you need the 70 to 80 range is your perfect range, huh? It's been a while since you were in the military community. Were you in the military yourself, or was it family? So anyway, good to see everybody here. Oh my goodness, this is great. Excuse me. I put a bunch of links down below for places that I did research in, and we've got the extension um, service from Pennsylvania State University, I believe it is. Another one from Ohio State University. Another one from Utah. I think there was. I'd read one from Minnesota State University, or from the University of Minnesota, but I don't think I put that link in there. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of them. Some are from other gardeners and blogs and different things like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 links down there. So you guys can go and research. Now, some of them, like the understanding soil microbes and nutrient recycling and some of those kind of things are more geared for farmers and their fields and different things like that. But the biology of it is the same. It's like um, hey Eli, good evening to you. Been preaching soil microbes for 30 years. Yeah. So microbe health is vice search. Yep, exactly. Sorry, I missed you right away coming in. You used to try to make the Marines add attention. They would turn red trying not to laugh. Krista, you are a stinker. Oh, that's funny. Yep, Simplify, exactly. So his mom, my nephew's wife, she was so funny about it. She was like, she said, I am totally good with this. She's like, she said, somebody else can help him grow up. I said, I don't have to be responsible for that anymore. So she said, if he screws up, it's not on me. So and she was like, oh, so no, he's a good kid. He is a really good kid though. But anyway, it's pretty funny. You love shopping in Marine base. Marines were more polite than Navy. Oh, I think the structure of Marine training is probably more conducive to respect than some of the others, I would think. So anyway, yeah. So some of the things I was going through, like I said, were for farmers. So anyway, essentially, what is a microbe? It is a microorganism. So microbe for short. Microorganism, it's microscopic, which means that you can only see it under a microscope. So if you hold a little pile of dirt in your hand, you're not going to see them. You can even spread them around and go, okay, where are they? You won't be able to see them. They're microscopic. They can exist in either a single cell form, just like by themselves, or in a colony of cells. Of course, they're probably going to be more effective as a colony, right? And that kind of thing. So, Trace left us get a, yeah, Michigan daffodil has a protozoa and water. Okay. That might even be the easiest place for you. I don't know if can you see them in the water or something, but yeah, there are different kinds of microbes, and that's definitely one of them. So, Patty, one of the things I missed, or you missed from the beginning, was that, I'm certainly far from being an expert in this at all. And I think you and Howie and a few of you others are going to be far more knowledgeable in this than me. But so what I'm sharing is what I have learned through my research. Again, it's like, microbes are important, but it's like, okay, what do they really do? So anyway, they're a microorganism. They can cause like fermentation, like in food and different things like that, or in your gut health. They can also cause disease or different things like that. But in the garden, they're really good. So some of the things they include are things like bacteria, archaea, single cell eukaryotes. I'm not sure if I'm. There's cells that have a nucleus, like an amoeba or paramecium, that type of thing. So yeah, Science Day today. I'm not going to take a test or give a test at the end, so no worries. 250,000 types of microbes. Yep, there you go. Thank you, Howie. Yeah, friend's nephew joined the Marines right out of high school in weeks after he finished. Oh, that's hard. Um, so why are microbes then important to the environment? Um, well, first of all, we have microbes for human body too. So there's microbes for the soil, for the environment, and for um, people and animals and stuff like that. But for us, they help us digest food, absorb nutrients. They outcompete harmful bacteria in your intestines. They produce vitamins. This is really, really cool. They produce vitamins and proteins that our human genes cannot produce. So it's like, yeah, you want those guys there, right? They prevent the growth of harmful skin bacteria. So you've got lots of, I think this is there are 150 different kinds, just like on your forearm or something like that. So don't put your skin under a microscope because it'll just creep you out. You don't want to know what's crawling on there, right? Um, so they prevent, again, harmful growth of skin bacteria and further aid your immune system in fighting infections and diseases in your human body. So that's what they do for us. But here we're here to talk tonight about the soil. So that's so great, Howie. Yeah. And so there's, I think is it Dr. Axe that puts out a book about eating dirt or something like that. So it's like, you know, you don't want to like super scrub your carrots when you pull them out of the garden because they've got a lot of good stuff on them, right? Um, I think kids were much healthier. Yes, Christy. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, Connie. Oh, poison oak is bad stuff. I know, Patty. 1 trillion organisms in one earthly. Wow. See, I knew we had the right person on here tonight about all of this stuff. And I was thinking, I was sharing with somebody else today, Howie, about collecting wood ash. And it was like, I totally forgot. It's like, I need to tell them about biochar and tell them about what you do with biochar. And it's like, I've got to make sure that I let them know about that. So you guys, I love looking through a microscope, although I jumped back first time I saw mites. I was like, I know. It's like these creepy crawly things going all around. I was like, no, you don't want to put your pillowcase under there or anything like that, you know? It's like, so, okay. So why are microbes now important to our environment? The most significant effect of the microbes on Earth is their ability to recycle the primary elements that make up all living systems, especially carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen. So they can recycle those. They take that carbon and turn it into nitrogen and oxygen. I mean, it's like, it's fantastic. The ability they do that, they're microscopic and they do that work for us to keep us healthy and to keep our land healthy and different things. So it's really cool. The small amount of biochar so far seems to make nice improvement. Oh, good. Awesome. Hey, Bonnie. Um, oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry for one thing, but I'm glad you're here. That's great. You got a rash on your arm. This is okay. Yeah, no makes. I know it's like I don't. There's some things you just don't need to see, right? It's like that would turn anybody into a germaphobe. And just be freaked out about touching anything, or you'd be scrubbing yourself constantly. And it's like, we don't need to know that, right? So anyway, recycling carbon, oxygen, nitrogen. Just excellent things. Their primary production involves photosynthetic organisms, which take up CO2 from the atmosphere and convert it to organic material. So, photosynthetic organisms, which would be um, any plant material really that gets the photosynthesis, the sun into the leaves and the grass and the different things like that. So, taking those living things, um, which take up the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, but taking those and converting it to organic material. So it's just like so cool. Um, that's true, Ela. That would probably kill everything, wouldn't it? It's coming through your fence. Keep your neighbors to control it. It's like, yeah, a little bit of Roundup on their side. You could just reach around the fence and do that. Maybe, I don't know. You've been adding ash from your burn barrel to your dirt, hoping the ash and rabbit booms. Just anything is probably going to help there, Kiri. I mean, you've got a real challenge there. But anyway, okay. So what would happen if these microbes didn't exist? Well, any fungal decomposition would become the critical link between the organisms, the organism's death and decay. So every organism will die and decay, right? Whether it's humans or leaves or whatever it is, that's just the nature of the cycle of life, right? And so those will die and decay, and then the return of that decomposed material, the leaves, the trees, all that kind of stuff, the nutrients that it had in there, it needs to come back into that soil's food chain. So the fungus decomposition, all that kind of stuff, needs to go from that dead organism into organic matter, into the nutrients in the soil, and so it can grow up new things, and then the whole cycle kind of goes back around in there. Donna, I don't know. Somebody else have an answer for Donna on that one. That would be really good. Is ash bad for growing potatoes? Would like to know. Put goats in their yard. Goats love poison ivy and oak. Ooh. First time you made compost and saw white squiggly stuff, you thought you did something wrong. Then read it was good. There you go. Yes, microbes make the best soil. Okay. Thank you, Michigan Daffodil. That sounds great. People get it just by breathing the oils again in the air, too. Okay. I like that. How he saved the microbes. Mycelium, that white squiggle. Oh, cool. See, Dave knows some of his stuff, too. Potatoes can get scab if too much potash from the ash. Oh, that's interesting to know. Okay. So what would happen then if we didn't have those microbes to return the decayed material or the dead material back into soil? What would happen? I mean, it seems really drastic, but when you really follow the line through, this is what happens. Most species on Earth would become extinct, and population sizes would be reduced greatly for the species that endured. So can we live without microbes? We wouldn't be able to digest our food properly without our gut bacteria, which are microbes. Crops around the world would start to die without the nutrients generated by microbes. Dead fish would bloat to the surface of lakes and oceans, and ocean life would be extinguished. I mean, that sounds like pretty much end of the world stuff. So it's like, yes, microbes are important. And so we need to do everything we can to promote them. So filling our fields and our soils and everything with insecticides and pesticides and all the sides that are out there, is going to just kill all the microbes. So even though it's trying to grow plants and trying to grow some stuff, It's very temporary, very temporary. So, yep, no microbes, no plants, exactly, and no microbes, no health for us either. So, I mean, that's just all around. Dawn, hello, how are you? Haven't seen you for a while. Boys, everybody's coming out of the out of the woodwork here. Um, so true, Eli. Don't grow the wrong fungi. That's right. Um, so, can we live though? Oh, I already said that. What do microbes need? Now, what do they need in order to grow, and why is it important? So, again, microbes are different things. One is bacteria, and they can live in hotter and colder temperatures than humans can. So they can outlive us in things that we do. So that's interesting to know, right? But they do best in warm, moist, protein rich environment that is pH neutral or slightly acidic. There are exceptions, however. Some bacteria thrive in extreme heat or cold, while others can survive under highly acidic or extremely salty conditions. Probably the oceans, the salty stuff there. Um, okay, microorganisms or microbes are useful to us in the following ways. They help in the production of bread, wine, and curd through the process of fermentation. Probiotics present in our body also help in proper digestion and to boost immunity. So, do you ever think a probiotic is really a microbe? And I was like, ew. Okay, so you take 20 billion microbes, in one capsule of a probiotic. So it's like, ew, cool. Okay. Um, eternal microbes. Here you are. Let's see, I'll go a little micro. Yes, add good stuff to it. Go a little. I love that. That's great, Christy. Um, today rehome 10 4-week-old chicks. Okay, good. Caitlin, how are you? Um, it might be that you just can't tolerate rice, that you can't tolerate grains. So you might want to check into that, and see, because I know a lot of people who have that issue. So that might be something in there that's not allowing to. Um, you need good microbes, yeah, and sometimes, depending on your constitution and what's in your gut and everything, that might interfere with those microbes being able to work. So, you had the pleasure of hearing a talk on soil biology by Elaine Ingham. Cool. She authored and co-authored publication on the Soil Food Web and more. See, between you and Howie, I know we've got it here, and Dave too. I'm sorry. So yes, you guys are so great. Yeah, so probiotics help digestion and boosting immunity. They also help in increasing. Now we're back. We're going to be bouncing back between body and soil, and so just bear with me. But the microbes help increase the soil fertility through nitrogen fixation and decomposition. So really, the decomposition is like the huge thing for them, and it's like getting all of that stuff back in. Because like when you've got leaves in your garden, or pieces of dead plants and stuff that are in there, and over time they kind of disappear, right? And so what they've done is, especially if you can turn them into your soil or something, uh, they start to break down, and pretty soon they're just part of the soil. And it's like, how do they do that? And it's like, you can't, can't break down a piece of plastic like that, and or metal or anything like that. But it's like, how do they do that? So it's like just way cool. Um, super great experience. Oh yeah. Get a cheap microscope and look at your own blood. Yeah, if anybody, I don't really do that. But how you're so true. I could see you doing that. It's like, oh, look at all that. Look at those squigglies. Look at the, and there's like, no. Oh, Patty, you're funny. That's great. We add the compost. The microbes make the nutrients bioavailable to the plants. Exactly. You went and looked at Howie blood videos. You got videos up with that? Oh my goodness. Okay. We're really feeding the microbes that in turn feed our plants. Yes. Um, right, Christy? It's just amazing that he made that so that it will continue to work despite the things that we try to do with it, right? Um, so it's, yeah. You did that years ago when you were in school for medical assistant. Pretty, yeah. I mean, I've did that I think in high school biology too, but it's like that's a long time ago. Okay, so again, a little bit breaking it out a little bit more. Without microbes, the earth would be filled with corpses. That sounds really, really bad, but not necessarily a human corpse, but corpse from of the plants, corpse of animals, different things like that. But anyway, bacteria again break down or decompose the dead organisms and animal waste. Can you imagine all of the animal poop around that would not break down? We'd have mountains of poop. It would not be pretty. It would not smell pretty either. So animal waste and plant litter to obtain nutrients. But microbes don't eat just nature's waste. They recycle it. So they don't just eat it and it's like, okay, then just grow into bigger microbes or something. It's like they recycle it. It's just like, it's like the process of decomposition releases chemicals such as carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus. I mean, huge chemicals that we need, right? Carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, that can be used to build new plants and animals. That is, chemicals that are used to that used to be flower or vegetable will eventually become of another part of another living thing. So the next time you see cut flowers decay or garden vegetable rot, remember you're really seeing microbes at work, right? Um, okay, we might need to get off of that topic so I don't get a strike. I don't know, but we just have to be careful here. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with mine, but anyway, so kind of to go on a little bit, each of the states, each state apparently is talking about restricting fertilizer use. And although these things are great for the environment, it can also make it difficult to reach our needs when it comes to plant growth. So what can we do to help both our plants and ourselves? So if they were going to restrict fertilizer, would that be organic fertilizers too, or what? Because not all of us have access to like Howie, everything that you put in your garden, we don't have access to all the wood, the biochar, the chips. I mean, just everything that goes in there. And um, so it's like if we don't have access to that, we might depend on an organic fertilizer. But then if they're going to restrict organic fertilizers, it's like, what do we do? How do we help our plants and our gardens and different things like that? Um, but the other thing is that did you know that only 40 to 60%, 40 to so average half of the fertilizer that we apply in our gardens actually goes to the plant. The remaining is lost to runoff. Um, some of it goes up into the air, and then some is just kept tied up in the soil. But that's why soil health is so important, so that you just can't keep dumping fertilizer upon fertilizer, amendments in here. Just it's like, okay, this week, what do we need to fertilize the plants with? What do we need to do with this week? So if you can easily over fertilize your plants. There was somebody I was seeing that is a channel that probably a lot of you know. But anyway, their beans weren't growing, but they were fertilizing. They had fresh new soil in there, and they put a lot of fertilizer in right away, and the beans were growing up, and they kept fertilizing every week or something. And I'm like, that's going, but they weren't growing. They were turning yellow, spotting, I mean, just all kinds of stuff. And they finally had to pull them and replant them. And so beans don't need that much. So thank you, Patty. Thank you, guys. This is just such a great uh, format for you guys sharing for all the different things that you know up there. But there's a great podcast this week from no-till growers about studies with urine. Okay. So, yeah, how much fertilizer actually goes to the plant? I'm going here. I've got like 18 pages of stuff here. I'm only on page 2. I don't know if I'm going to get to everything. All right. So soil health is so important. It is. It really is. A plant will, beneficial soil microbes form a symbiotic relationship with the plant. The plant will exert as much as 30% of its energy to the root zone to make food for microbes. Did you know that? That they actually, the roots of the plants, your peppers, your carrots, or whatever it is, they're actually making food down there for the microbes. And in return, those microbes not only protect the plant from stress, but they feed the plant by converting and holding nutrients in the soil. It's just like, yeah, it's all nitrogen. It's like so cool. Yeah, it's just like, again, the symbiotic relationship. They just helping each other, and it's all by wonderful design. It's so great. So there are basically 5 types of microbes. Okay, so we have bacteria, which is like the crucial workforce of soils. They're the final stage of breaking down nutrients and releasing them to the root zone for the plant. So the bacteria may well be the most valuable of life forms in the soil. So you don't want to like, oh, my soil's got bacteria. It's like, no, it's good stuff. It's really good bacteria. Soil is made in nature 1 inch every 10 years. And that's so great. 3 to 5 inches green brown layers biochar wood ash. Yes. So getting all those layers together, and I'll get to that in a minute, but then the you guys are gonna have to help me out on the pronunciation of this, even though I can't see you. Exactly, Eli, exactly. Actinomycetes. I will act on my own seats. No, I don't know how to say that. Anyway, they were once classified as fungi and act similarly in the soil. However, some actinomycetes are predators. Yeah. Oh, you got to be singing that out. Okay. Some of them are predators and will harm the plant, while others living in the soil can act as antibiotics for the plant. So, because it's an antibiotic, that's why it's a name that I can't even pronounce. Okay, fungi. Like bacteria, fungi also lives in the root zone and helps make nutrients available to plants. For example, mycorrhizae is a fungi that facilitates water and nutrient uptake by the roots and the plants to provide sugars, amino acids, and other nutrients. Those are all things your plants need. It's like they need sugars in there. It's like you don't want to go out and pour your white processed sugar out on your soil. No, the fungi is the one that's going to help out with that. So the coffee. A part 2 of micro. That's true. That's true. I might have to. Okay, protozoa is the 4th one. Protozoa are larger microbes that love to consume and be surrounded by bacteria. So they're like the center of attention. There's, surrounded by bacteria. In fact, nutrients that are eaten by bacteria are released when protozoa in turn eat the bacteria. Wow. I mean, I guess the bacteria is a little suicidal there, aren't they? They go and attach themselves. It's like, here I am. I'm your dinner. So, anyway, protozoa, a little bit bigger guys. I've only talked, I think we looked at protozoa in like pond water or something like that. And it's like, permaculture Fanta. Yeah. Um, exactly. And then nematodes. We've heard of those. It's like, what are those really? Nematodes are microscopic worms that, no, remember, microscopic. You can't even see them in the normal part. They're little worms, only under the microscope, that live around or inside the plant. Some nematodes are predators, while others are beneficial, eating pathogenic nematodes and secreting nutrients to the plant. So what I'm wondering is like, okay, if they're all over lettuce and parts of the plants that you actually eat the plants, we're eating nematodes. Are we eating little worms? And would they be harmful to us? I'm overthinking this, I know. Okay. So adding microbes to your garden. You remember taking pond water samples from high school and realizing we had blood. Oh, okay. Yep. It's like no more swimming there. You like enzymes. Okay. You tried to give your dog some pond water. There was a beetle. They're so smart, right? It's like they probably can smell it too. And it's like, you want me to drink that? So, okay. So, some things that, and adding microbes to your garden. What are some of the, there's 4 primary types. One is a rhizobia. Those are bacteria that colonize the roots of legumes and form nitrogen fixing nodules. Okay, perfect example are beans, your green bean plants. If you ever, when you pull up their roots and everything, you'll see little white nodules on the roots and stuff. Those are little nitrogen bombs in there. Basically. Yep, peas too. But anyways, I'm gonna kind of stop reading this chat. It's getting nasty. Okay. So peas, beans, peanuts, and cover crops like clover and different things like that. Those are all nitrogen fixing things. So they actually will produce their own little nitrogen nodules on there and put it back into the soil. And that's why it's so great in field crop rotation. They will put soybeans in after corn because the soybeans are putting nitrogen back into the soil that the corn takes out. So again, another great reason for crop rotation within your garden too, so that you can, yeah, you guys keep it on task here, huh? Never pull them out, leave the roots. There you go, because they're putting all kinds of things in there. Exactly. So cover crops are great. Oh, and now we've got another really good one. Arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi. Okay. They form symbiotic associations between the fungi and the plant roots. They improve nutrient uptake again, especially in phosphorus-limited, saline, or drought-prone soils. And they can improve soil structure over time. That was the second one. And so the third one is trichoderma. It's another fungi, but those live within the roots of the plants. And then you've got the bacillus bacteria. So rhizobia, again, we talked about the nodules on the plants and everything for your legumes and the different things like that. I'm trying to kind of zip through this a little quicker here. Okay. Um, Kind of a little bit sideways topic here. It's like, okay, if you've got all of these things in your soil, you've got really healthy soil and everything, if they're already present in there, is it worth using more in there? And so for a home gardener, they said probably not. Because again, if you have a nitrogen rich soil, you start pouring more and more nitrogen into it, that's going to get everything off balance and can end up killing the things that you're trying to promote in there. So again, be very careful about what you actually do add to everything and fertilize. You can soil test. You can, and we've talked about all that before. You can just start watching things grow and see what's happening with them. If you're getting fresh new soil in there that is like straight out of the farmyard or whatever like that, you don't want to be loading all kinds of other nitrogen and stuff in there because that's pretty rich already. So really know what it is. But it said adding new microbes to your soil is always a gamble, and the success of these products is highly variable. So if you're adding an artificial microbe in there, planting carrots over stumps of brassicas isn't easy, but otherwise you leave the roots. Yep, soil is made in Loris. Yeah, you're welcome, Howie. Thank you for being here. But yes, some of the things for really building your healthy soil, you need the three things. You need stuff that's live. This is kind of my garden tip: using a mix of materials in amending your soil. Living stuff, which would be like grass clippings and different things like that, and whatever else you can put in there. I'm drawing a blank right now, but putting some green stuff in there. I call it green manure, right? So it's just stuff that you can grow in there. Like maybe you're doing a cover crop of clover, turn it into the soil then, just kind of mow it down, turn it into the soil. That's a wonderful green living material that you can put in there. Then you can have brown materials, and you need to have like a balance of all this, not have like 80% green and then 1% brown or something. The brown would be like dead leaves, stuff like that, things that would have been that is dead, it is ready to be decomposed, everything. So and then inorganic materials, you could put like your permalite in there. You could put newspaper, shredded newspaper. You can put just all kinds of other things. Oh, some more of the brown stuff. It would be like you could put a base in your beds of, especially a raised bed of wood and twigs and different things like that. You could put a layer of straw down. That's always a really good one. And then just mix it up. And those microbes are going to go into town and just give you some really, really great, rich soil. So, oh, Night Howie, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. So, so just use a mix of everything in that. Again, what did I get in here? I may have to wait till next week for the rest of us. I'm like on page 7 or 6. No, 5. Out of 19. I didn't get very far. Okay. So anyway, we may have to pick this up next week. All right, so it's my garden tip anyway. So that kind of helps along with the microbes and how you build a healthy soil. So yes, use cover crops when you are not actively growing vegetables. So whether you've pulled your things out for the fall and you just throw in a cover crop, or if there's going to be a section of a garden you're just not going to use that summer, put in a cover crop. Even in my raised beds, if for some reason I'm not going to use all the beds that year for whatever reason, instead of just putting black plastic over it and just letting everything kind of do that. I mean, I could do that too, but it would be so much better for it if I put in a cover crop and just let that grow and let those microbes do their things with the roots. Um, there's a whole bunch of other stuff on this that, yeah, I'm just going to need to get to next week, because there's some really, really cool things about the different things and how it does, what it does to the soil and stuff. Um, some other tips to making them happy is to adding compost to your soil every year, which is it's ideal every year. If you can't do it every year, then at least every other year. But keep in mind that compost is high in phosphorus. So if you're going to do that constantly, you might want to test your soil just to make sure that the levels aren't too high for your particular crops that you need. And then to reduce the soil disturbance or tillage as much as possible. If you're using raised beds or permanent beds, is a great way to do that. Um, so, success depends on existing microbial communities in your soil, climate, soil texture, pH of your soil, and more. So you can do all of that. But yeah, I think there's a whole bunch of more stuff. Yeah, my English is not good today. So anyway, there's more things that we can talk about next week. But again, check out the links below if you want to do it. I don't know if any of you are readers, or if you, and there's tons of videos online too, and about microbes and soil health and stuff like that. So I'm going to get back to the chat here, see what you guys are talking about. Becoming a big fan of winter killed cover crops. Right. Lisa, I think I will, Patty. I think I will. Rather than trying to just like 2 minutes, it's like try to get everything else in, because you guys offer so much in here in the discussion. And that's what I love about this. It's like, because I only know a little piece of it. And if all of you can help out with this, that's fantastic. I really appreciate that. You've used a pea oat daikon radish blend. Plant in the fall, like we'll seed amongst the tomatoes, peppers, corn that is about to come out. So it gets a head start. Oh, that's great. Well, right before you go to harvest those, you're already planting that. Excellent. You're right, Christy. Yep. Thank you, Eli. Appreciate that. Then sprouts through the fall, dies over winter, and mulches. Excellent. Your garden tip, dig out the rocks, replace. You could have built a mansion with all those rocks by now, Kiri. Oh, all right. Okay. So next week, round 2. There we go. Thanks, Connie, for being here. You guys are just so great. You used to have raised beds without sides. Your husband said they looked like coffins. Okay. That's funny. All right, Alicia, thank you so much. It sounds like everybody's needing to go. So you guys take care. God bless. Always have hope, and have a wonderful week. And pray for rain and cooler temperatures and then warmer temperatures. So anyway, okay. Thanks, Patty. I tried my best, working at each syllable at a time. So anyway, you guys just have a great week. We'll see you next time. Good night.